myth. But Floyd's father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., is confident the fight will actually go down next year. It's going to happen. That fight's going to happen. Trust me, that fight's definitely going to happen. It's a fight for the world, man, right there. It's the biggest fight that has ever been in life. So like I said, man, that fight's going to happen. You mark my words, and we'll see. We will see. Braylon Edwards, of course, at the desk joining us. I mean, what's your reaction? Pop says it's going to happen.
I mean, this fight that people have been waiting for the last 6-7 years. I think it's going to come down to, if it happens next year, it won't be the same as if it would have happened 6 years ago. You'll have some people that say that if the fight happened 6 years ago, this guy would have won handily. If the fight happens now, they'll say this guy is going to win. And what I'm talking about is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has looked pretty good to me in his last 3 fights. I think he's learned how to take punches. I think he's learned how to move a lot of times and just not hit and run around the ring and hide. He's been learning how to fight, take punches, fight, get beat up. If you saw him at the end of the fight last, he took a beating to a certain extent, but he was still able to handily win that fight. I think Pacquiao has not looked as good in his last 5 fights. He's lost 2 of his last 4. He didn't look that good to me against Sugar Shane Mosley. I think if this fight happens next year, then Floyd does win handily.
Okay, so why hasn't it happened for 5 years?
I think in the past, it's just my opinion, I don't think Floyd thought he could beat Manny Pacquiao. I think Floyd is the only guy that Floyd potentially would have thought
Are you suggesting what I've been suggesting to this man, that Floyd has been running?
I don't want to seem like I'm on your side today. I feel like you and I are connected at the hip today, and it's going to piss this guy off.
We're connected at the mind today.
That's even better. But I do feel in the past that Floyd did not want to take the fight on as he saw he could potentially lose, and everything that he's worked for and everything that he is today, the undefeated record is what makes it so.
This man spouts wisdom.
Stephen A. Stephen A.
I've reported on First Take that I had it on good, reliable sources that there would be a fight in the spring or right before the summertime, maybe April or May, before the NBA Finals, Floyd fighting Pacquiao. I think it's going to happen.
Do you think that quickly?
I think yes, I think it's inevitable. And I'll tell you this right now. I'll even go as far as to say this for both of y'all. I've never been of the belief that Floyd Mayweather is scared of Pacquiao. I think he picked Pacquiao apart. I've always felt that way. I think Floyd is a boxing magician, particularly defensively, and that Manny Pacquiao would have barely touched him. You and I disagree, Braylon, when you say you think Floyd has looked good over the last several fights. I think it's the worst he's ever looked. I think he looks slower. I think he's getting hit too much.
He's older.
I think he's getting, yeah, I understand that. I know the reasons why, but I think he's slower. I think he's getting hit a bit too much. I don't like it one bit, and I think it's primarily not because of age and attrition. I think it's because Floyd is too busy being so preoccupied with all the other things going on outside of the rings, whether it's his personal life, whether it's the promotional end, which is primarily the issue. He has to do so much work because he wants all the money. Okay, so the promotional aspect, I think it's draining him psychologically, and I think it has shown up in the ring. I think a Pacquiao fight that comes about, if indeed that does happen, I believe that Floyd will be locked in on the fight, and he'll leave the promotional aspect to somebody else because he knows he won't have to worry about having to go out there and promote the fight, but so much. It'll be a promotion in and of itself. With that being said, what I will say to both of y'all is this. If Floyd avoids this fight and he fights Miguel Cotto or Canelo Alvarez, I have no problem with it.
Uh-oh.
If he avoids this fight and takes on Amir Khan, I will come on national television and I will acknowledge to you that Floyd Money Mayweather is avoiding Manny Pacquiao. Because there is no excuse for him with 2 fights left on his contract. With him scheduled to retire in the fall, according to him, there is no excuse on God's green earth for Amir Khan to step into a boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. with those 3 big fights out there. Nobody gives a damn about Amir Khan. Okay? And that's not the disrespect, but I saw Amir Khan get destroyed a few fights back. I forgot who it was that just dropped him and destroyed him. It didn't even matter. Amir Khan is a good fighter. He is not in Floyd Mayweather's class in terms of box office, etc. The fights that are out there for Floyd Money Mayweather is Canelo Alvarez, a rematch with him a rematch with Miguel Cotto, who's now being trained by Freddie Roach and has looked very, very impressive. And by the way, Miguel Cotto just needs to stay away from the middleweight division. He don't need to get up in there with Golovkin. Just stay the hell away from him. Don't do it. Don't you dare do it. Okay? If he's going to fight anybody, he needs to fight Canelo Alvarez or Floyd. Miguel Cotto does not need to go against Triple G. That's a disaster. And by the way, Jermaine Taylor, who looked relatively decent on ESPN last night, he doesn't need to fight Golovkin either. Golovkin will knock him out inside of 7 rounds. Stay away from him, Jermaine. I don't want to see you get knocked out.
Jermaine's got his legal issues next week.
Yes,
he's got to be in court.
He's got his legal issues, and that's true. But he was allowed to fight last night. He don't need to fight Golovkin because Golovkin will take him out in 7 rounds. But Floyd, if Floyd fights Amir Khan instead of Pacquiao, Alvarez, or Cotto, I will come on here on national television and tell you my boy is avoiding Pacquiao because there's no excuse for that. Not for Amir Khan. Not for Amir Khan.
Floyd has 3 fights left.
He's got 2 left, but he could do these.
I'm saying he's going to have 3. This is my opinion. He has 2 left on the deal. He'll fight Canelo Alvarez or Amir Khan or Cotto. One of those 2 or 2 of those 3. The last fight that he'll fight in his career will be Manny Pacquiao.
Well, then he won't fight Manny in the spring.
Exactly. I'm thinking
you're saying it's going to be
this is not going to happen next year. He's saving this fight as an exit strategy. That's all he needs to do left is beat Manny Pacquiao, regardless of Manny's.
No matter who Floyd fights in terms of Cotto or Alvarez, the money to be made for Money Mayweather is Pacquiao. And with 2 fights left, can you imagine what 2 with Pacquiao would be? What if there was a rematch? Even if Floyd won, what if there was a rematch? He gave Madonna a rematch. What if he sat there and fought Pacquiao and somehow everybody was clamoring for a rematch? Could you imagine with 2 fights alone, 2 fights, Floyd could make $300 million to close out his career. He wouldn't even have to fight Canelo Alvarez or Cotto.
How much money does Floyd Mayweather Jr. need?
Doesn't need.
What did he just make from Madonna? But what,
no.
It's not about money. It's about we're talking about basketball.
The problem is, first of all, don't ever fault a boxer for being about money, because nobody's is least protected than them.
Okay, no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, just off his deal, if he just finishes out his deal, he's going to have more money than he could ever dream of spending, just off this deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which is why.
But he is in Vegas.
He has expensive.
He is in Vegas. He's got an expensive lifestyle, and plus he gambles.
Okay, all right, fine.
It's legal out there.
I still say he will run and run and run until he ultimately hides from Manny Pacquiao. I do not believe he will fight Manny Pacquiao. And I know what you've reported. I respect what you've reported. We've got Floyd Sr. and the uncle Jeff saying it's going to happen next year. I don't know what next year is. I don't know what exactly that.
But Floyd told me he thought it was going to happen.
Okay. I don't buy it. I think he keeps telling everybody it's going to happen. And by the way, Floyd Sr. said that, I'm paraphrasing the quote, Floyd doesn't realize this yet, but he will win this fight against Manny easily, against Pacquiao easily. He knows in his heart.
His father said he doesn't realize it?
Yeah, he doesn't realize it yet. But listen.
So would that lead along the lines of what you and I are talking about him running from that fight?
Okay,
he doesn't trust in this.
See, Floyd doesn't trust that this would be an easy fight, because it would not be an easy fight. And I'm going to say it one more time. Manny is going to look in the mirror if he takes on Manny Pacquiao. Floyd will look in the mirror, and he will see a man whose hands are just as quick as his hands, except his hands are attached to true punching power for this division.
Well, it was once upon a time. I don't know if we could say that about Manny Pacquiao over the last 3 or 4 fights.
Okay, but what have I been telling you? Okay, the last 3 or 4, just as you've ripped Floyd for his last 3 fights, Manny Pacquiao has lost interest in boxing. Now, my fear is...
But that don't mean your power leaves.
Okay, but...
You know what I mean? I can understand that from a skill perspective. I mean, if you're going to tell me somebody loses interest, that would explain why Floyd's getting hit a little bit extra.
Okay.
It will explain why he doesn't seem as if... But you don't lose your power.
Okay, but because we've seen him go through a spiritual conversion and get into politics, I fear that Manny Pacquiao has lost his heart for the brutal sport that is boxing, except for one man. Manny has laid in wait. He has said again and again, I just want one man. And I believe that he would drop his political aspirations and he would give in to the onward Christian soldier that he is and just say, I'm going to fight this man, and I'm going to go for blood here, and I'm going to go for the throat, and I'm going to beat him, because I don't think he likes Floyd Mayweather Jr.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. But let me tell you something. And I make fun of Manny, but I like Manny. Manny was here. Manny
You like
great,
Manny.
right? I really, really do. He's an incredibly nice guy, okay? And I think he's great, despite the fact that he got put to sleep by Marquez.
He knocked out as well.
I still think he's great, but he gave
the power showed in that fight.
Technical knockout. He didn't get put to sleep the way Pacquiao got put to sleep. I mean, Lord, did he wake up? Are you sure he woke up? Manny, are you okay? Here's the point that I'm trying to make to you, okay? Skip, I give you your point there. Manny Pacquiao does not like Floyd Mayweather. He thinks that, from a spiritual perspective even, he thinks he could help Floyd get reborn.
I agree.
I mean, that's how bad he was.
No, but he does.
He does.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something right now. The enemies that would lie at the gate waiting. I mean, the only people that I know that genuinely, that I think are root for Floyd, believe in Floyd, me and my man Denzel Washington, who I spoke to the other day, came on my show. This dude, he believes Floyd Mayweather would win too. But let me tell you something. Y'all count out Floyd. The world would be counting out Floyd. Oh, the enemies that would lie at ringside waiting to see him. I'm just saying, the enemies will lie waiting for Floyd to fall flat. Please, you know how many people would love to see Floyd get knocked out? And Floyd, I'm telling you, against Pacquiao, Floyd would be on his A game. I think you would see the best you have ever seen from Floyd, ever.
All right, I'm going to go Judge Mills Lane. We got to stop this one. We're going to keep going, right? So after Alabama's loss last week, Crimson Tide taking more shots. Radio caller Phyllis from Mulga